What a roller coaster ride it has been this year for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They entered the season a favorite to win the Metro, got to the trade deadline struggling to even make playoffs and questioning if Panarin and Bob should be traded at the deadline. Instead, they trade away some of their future to acquire forward Matt Duchene, and Ryan Dzingel found themselves still struggling after the additions. It was looking like it could have been a bust, and then the heart and soul of the team, Sergei Bobrovsky, flipped that switch on where he just goes straight two-time Vezina winning goaltender beast mode for the home stretch and tremendously elevated this team to the playoffs. Once again, we're at the top of the hill on your roller coaster, and then you find out that first round match is against the heavy favorite, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and you're back down to that point where you're happy to just steal a game or two to make it a series. But instead, the team pulls off the biggest upset in the history of the franchise and arguably one of the biggest upsets in NHL history by sweeping the favorite to win the cup, the Tampa Bay Lightning, to advance to the second round. But then the second round comes around and they face their true kryptonite, the Boston Bruins. And last night, our Columbus Blue Jackets, they were shut out and they was eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. But yet, I honestly still couldn't be happier. I think people thought I was crazy when I said it before playoffs started, and that was I'd rather play the Lightning than the Bruins when it comes to a matchup for the Blue Jackets. They've had CBJ's number for a while now, and when you look back at the two teams, they are very similar. The Blue Jackets and the Bruins, that is, two physical teams. Great top sixes, outstanding goaltenders, great defenders. The Bruins just executed better throughout the series, and that's about it. I'm not going to blame the refs for a loss, and I don't think anyone should. Should that hit on Anderson been a 5-minute last night? Absolutely. But the second I seen Kukin elbow Backus in the head the other night, I thought he was going to be ejected right then and there. But he wasn't. He was given a 2-minute penalty as well. So everything kind of balances out at the end of the day when it comes to the officiating calls. The refs are human. They can't see everything, nor do they make the right call every time. That's just sports in general. It's the job of the players to play well enough to make those bad calls absolutely meaningless, and that did not happen for the Blue Jackets. The Bruins overcame them, the Blue Jackets didn't. So GG's to the Bruins. I think that's your cup winner right there, to be completely honest. But for us Blue Jackets fans, I do think we should all be happy with what the team has done this year. We didn't win a Stanley Cup, but oddly enough, we did something that will probably be remembered by the casual hockey fan just as much as a Blue Jackets Stanley Cup, and that's sweeping one of the best teams assembled in the history of the game when most people didn't think we stood a chance to win one game, let alone 4 straight against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Columbus went from a football town to a hockey town just like that, and the fans made this some of the most enjoyable hockey to watch of my life. But this loss, it does sting a lot because it hits you just like that. Bang! Your two best players are more than likely walking out the door, and your arguably second best forward in Duchene is probably leaving too. But it scares the living crap out of me thinking of where this team would and will be without Bobrovsky, someone who I still don't think people realize how much has carried this team to playoffs and to wins over the past 7 years. And I've been admittedly I've been up and down on trading them before the season ended as much as anyone between Panarin and Bob. You know, could have had a couple first round picks for the future, but nothing's guaranteed. Can't guarantee those two picks would have won us a cup. Can't guarantee they'd win us a playoff series. Heck, you can't even guarantee those two picks would have been really good players that would have amounted to anything. But what is a guarantee is the memories and the excitement that these two brought us over the years and this postseason. And now I feel like the right choice was made. I can stop and think back and say I am happy with the decision the Blue Jackets made this year. But as much as it kills me to see these guys leave, they did something I've never seen done before, at least not personally, and that is after the game. It wasn't a big scene. It wasn't like, hey, let's get all the cameras together and show all this love and support. No, but Bob and Panarin went out shaking fans' hands, giving them hugs, and what felt like one of the most genuine, respectful, yet absolutely heartbreaking things I've witnessed as a sports fan, because not only was it Bob and Panarin say we love you guys and, you know, they're grateful for being here and supporting us, but it was as big of a signal as you can get for this is the end of an era, and our new journey begins now, being sent to the Blue Jackets, being sent for Panarin and Bob. And I have to say, I've never been happier to see two of my favorite players leave because of that one single gesture they made last night, something you don't have to do. These guys are walking out the door, but they stopped and they looked back and reflected, and just, I'm still a little choked up about it now, to be quite frank, that those two went out of their way and did that. But I wish nothing but the best for Panarin and Bob in their future, and I thank you both for all the professionalism and the hard work you guys have put in for us, the fans, and for the team this season, even though we all knew pretty well for the majority of the year that neither one of you planned on wanting to be a Blue Jacket next year. But despite seeing the future, not wanting to play with the Blue Jackets this season, you guys gave it your all, gave it your heart, gave it your best every single night. And for that, I thank you. But most importantly, I thank you guys for being a big part in Columbus becoming a hockey town.